and I basically set them up for failure drives them. It is going to take a lot of failing before you figure out the formula that works for you. You get to make ad revenue from your videos, but because content distribution is a future, it is something every single brand and creator is trying to build. And if you understand the faceless YouTube game, you can do it better than most people in the world. I want you to learn the rules of faceless content creation. I want you to understand just how big of a scope this field has. And I want to stop you from making as many mistakes as possible, which is why I recommend that you watch this video next because we cover the list of all the mistakes that stop faceless creators from succeeding.
Welcome to the Google Podcast series, where I and an expert guest discuss science and solid tools for everyday life. I'm Andrew Huberman, and I'm a professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology at Stanford School of Medicine. Today's episode marks the first in a 4-episode series all about mental health. The expert guest for this series is Dr. Paul Conti. Dr. Paul Conti is a medical doctor and psychiatrist who underwent training at Stanford University School of Medicine, and then went on to become chief resident of psychiatry at Harvard Medical School. He then went on to found the Pacific Premier Group, which is a collection of psychiatrists and therapists who are expert in treating all types of psychiatric disorders and life stressors. Across the 4 episodes of this series on mental health, Dr. Conti teaches us about the structure of our own minds and how to think about our own mind as a way to enhance our mental health. He explains how our subconscious mind and our conscious mind interact, drive our emotions, our decision making, and our behavior. And while any series about mental health requires that from time to time we discuss personality disorders and psychiatric challenges, the main discussion in today's episode, and in fact all 4 episodes in this series, are about what it means to be mentally healthy and how to build one's mental health through sustainable practices, either done alone or with a therapist. Today's episode addresses several key questions as well as provides protocols used to address questions about your own mental health. For instance, you will learn what constitutes the most mentally healthy version of yourself. You will learn to assess and you will learn protocols for addressing levels of anxiety, levels of confidence, how to think about your beliefs and internal narratives, how to think about your self-talk and restructure your self-talk. We discuss common challenges such as overthinking. We talk about the role of defense mechanisms and other aspects of the conscious and unconscious mind interactions that can lead us toward or away from the healthiest versions of ourselves. You'll notice that during the first 5 minutes or so of today's discussion, Dr. Conti describes a framework of what he refers to as the structure of self and the function of self, and he describes several pillars for understanding what those are. I'd like to highlight that while that short portion of our discussion does bring up a number of terms that are likely to be novel to you, they certainly were novel to me, that as our conversation proceeds, you will really come to appreciate just how simple and yet powerful that framework is. It will help you understand, for instance, the relationship between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind in ways that you can really apply toward enhancing your mental health. In addition to that, Dr. Conti has generously provided a few PDFs which illustrate that framework for you and that are available completely zero cost by going to the links on the show note captions. So you have the option to download those PDFs and to look them over either prior to or during or perhaps after you listen to these 4 podcast episodes. As a final note before beginning today's discussion, I wanted to emphasize my sentiment, which I'm confident will soon be your sentiment as well, which is that Dr. Paul Conti shares with us immensely powerful tools for enhancing mental health that, at least to my knowledge, have never been shared publicly before. In fact, as somebody who has done more than 3 decades of therapy, I've never before been exposed to a conversation about the structure of the mind and the subconscious mind, as well as tools and protocols for enhancing mental health as powerful as these. For me, the information was absolutely transformative in terms of reshaping my thought patterns, my emotional patterns, and several of my behavioral patterns. And I'm confident that the information that you'll glean from today's episode and throughout the series
Whether you want to increase sales, generate leads, or build brand awareness, Google Ads can help you drive growth and increase your revenue. Just ask Callie and
It is,
Juan,
however,
who
part
use
of my
ads
desire
from search, shopping,
zero
and
cost
YouTube to reach new customers, earning them a 300% ROI, and helping grow their business by 150% year on year.
Our first
Get
sponsor,
started today and get $500 in
BetterHelp
ad
offers
credit
professional
when you
therapy
spend your
with a
first
licensed
$500.
therapist carried out
Sign up to
online.
Google Ads
I
today.
personally have been doing weekly therapy for more than 30 Weekly therapy was initiated not by my own request. It was, in fact, a requirement for me to remain in high school.
Empower your students
Over time,
at every
I really
stage of
came
the
to
writing
appreciate
process.
just how
Grammarly
valuable
is generative
quality
AI.
therapy is.
Use it to
In
help
fact,
students
I look at
brainstorm
doing quality
ideas
therapy
faster.
much in the same way that I look at going to the gym,
Check for plagiarism.
cardiovascular training, running,
Set sources instant.
therapy right away.
Get real-time feedback.
The beauty of BetterHelp is that they make it very easy to find an excellent therapist. An excellent
And much
therapist
more.
find somebody who is going to be
Here's from our user from the University of Texas.
with whom you have excellent rapport with, and help provide a key insight that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to find.
It's not just a grammar tool, it's your AI writing
It's
assistant.
extremely convenient.
Download Grammarly for free today.
So if you're interested in BetterHelp, go to betterhelp.com/Huberman to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, spelled HELP.com/Huberman. Today's episode is also brought to us by Waking Up. Waking Up is a meditation app that offers dozens of guided meditation sessions, mindfulness training, yoga nidra sessions. By now, there's an abundance of data showing that even short daily meditations can greatly improve our mood, reduce anxiety, improve our ability to focus, and improve our memory. And while there are many different forms of meditation, most people find it difficult to find and stick to a meditation practice in a way that is most beneficial for them. The Waking Up app makes it extremely easy to learn how to meditate and to carry out your daily meditation practice in a way that's going to be most effective and efficient for you. It includes a variety of different types of meditations of different duration, as well as things like yoga nidra, which place the brain and body into a sort of pseudo sleep that allows you to emerge feeling incredibly mentally refreshed. In fact, the science around yoga nidra is really impressive, showing that after a yoga nidra session, levels of dopamine in certain areas of the brain are enhanced by up to 60%, which places the brain and body into a state of readiness for mental work and for physical work. Another thing I really like about the Waking Up app is that it provides a 30-day introduction course. So for those of you that have not meditated before or getting back to a meditation practice, that's fantastic. Or if you're somebody who's already a skilled and regular meditator, Waking Up has more advanced meditations and yoga nidra sessions as well. If you'd like to try the Waking Up app, you can go to wakingup.com/Huberman and access a free 30-day trial. Again, that's wakingup.com/Huberman. And now for my discussion about how to understand and assess your level of mental health with Dr. Paul Conti. Dr. Paul Conti, welcome. Thank you. I'm very excited for today's episode of the series. I, like so many other people out there, have questions about ourselves, and not just about ourselves, but how the different personality types out there, healthy, narcissists, all the things that we hear about these days, gaslighting, all these sorts of things. What all of that really is, perhaps we can dispel some of that statement as we go through the series, which we will. And also raise some important questions that we should all ask ourselves. Try to understand who we are and how we can how we can experience happiness, richness. So, to start off this question, I want to raise a parallel with something that most people are familiar with, which is physical. While there isn't an ideal physical self that's been defined by the medical community, we know, for instance, that there is a range of blood pressure. There's a range of body mass index. But I think it's reasonable to say that the healthy individual is not going to get exhausted walking up and down stairs, hurting themselves, strength, endurance, etc. Within the physical health domain, all of that is very well scripted. There are protocols that we can always review that this when it comes to mental health, when it comes to concepts of the self, things become much more abstract. In fact, I think most people, including myself, are then wandering around in the dark, wondering whether or not we are the best versions of ourselves, whether or not we think about ourselves in a really balanced way. So to start things off, tell us, what is the healthy version of yourself? What should we all be aspiring to? We work with people who are healthy and people who have severe pathology. what should we be striving for? But a healthy self approaches life through the lens of agency and gratitude. If you look at happy people, people who like their lives, right, no matter what stage of life they're at, right, no matter what their socioeconomic status is, race, religion, but there's so many things that we think matters, right, and they matter to a lot of things. They matter to is someone happy or not, right? They are not factors. Like the factors that tell us is this person enjoying life? Are they take care of themselves? Are they happy they're here? Are they engaged productively in the world? Is agency and gratitude. And if we have those two things, then it's interesting to almost never see someone go wrong. Right? And even if there are difficulties, even if there are if things happen in life that can make some unhappiness, right? It doesn't take away the person's engagement with life, the person's enthusiasm for life. And I think if you look at the traditions of understanding how are people happy, whether it's in psychiatry or literature or through a religious lens, it is always people who approach life through the lens of agency and gratitude.
Could we go a little bit deeper on the agency? When I hear the words agency and gratitude, I think you see an ability to affect the way they are in ways that I want. I think gratitude, and the entire episode all about gratitude practices, some of the neuroscience and neuroimaging and chemical changes that occur in the brain and body when people. Hello, everyone. So today we're diving into some fascinating facts about in the U.S. in West Virginia. That's nestled in the heart of Appalachia. Hinton is a town brimming with charm, history, natural.
I would say agency and gratitude are these amazing individuals that sit on top of
So buckle
a
up
highly
and get ready
complex
for an adventure to explore the wonders.
and a highly complex psychology in all of us. So if we think about
Hinton is one of
the
those
self,
towns
right,
where
that
time seems to
identify
move a little slower.
a self,
We're made to know each other by name.
if I approach the world with agency and gratitude,
Imagine strolling
that's
down
sitting
Main
on
Street,
top of
wide,
a lot
long, brick buildings connected with
and the idea that silence, right? And what does it look like when we're healthy? So there's a structure, and a function, and the parts, and what is going on in us? What like reaching without right? Empowerment is the ability to navigate the world around us and to bring myself to bear in ways that are effective. And from empowerment arises a sense of agency. Right? I have agency because I am
It's a place where nature grows
and also from a healthy structure
Picture this.
and
A
function
mighty Greenbrier
itself
River.
are and just keep the health of nature. Right? We feel a sense of humility that I'm here and I can do good things. I'm fortunate to be here and I'm part of this bigger ecosystem, right? All of it on the scale of the ecosystem of life, right? If we feel that humility, then we approach the world through the lens of gratitude. So the idea of a healthy structure of self and a healthy function of self leads to empowerment and humility. And then upon that, we are sort of imbued with agency and gratitude.
Now let's
And
travel back in
that
time.
leads us forward to happy lives.
Okay, so it's clear to me why standing proud of success after those bygone days is the Hinton Railroad Depot, a magnificent structure that should always be to achieve unfold. And imagine it also makes sense on this at why empowerment team innovate chugging the air for big components that feed into our economic events. The Hinton Depot wasn't because all of that, at least in my mind, sums to the dream, connecting people to a very clear statement on new possibility. Having agency and gratitude is the best way to approach it. That all makes perfect sense to me, and yet I've never really thought embarked on the journey because most people have been told family what their eyes sparkling agency and gratitude stepped off the train. You've heard ready to start endless number of positions and everybody else that you should seek to have relatively. But Hold on to your hats, folks, because Hinton knows how to throw a party. Heart rate every year. This vibrant town comes alive with the sights,
So within the
sounds,
physical
and splashes of the annual water festival.
strong, clear
Imagine
message
its kaleidoscope of colors, the air filled with laughter.
in a similar way
As local discuss the light
self,
psychology,
I don't think anyone seeks out low blood pressure or low heart
from
rate.
thrilling kayak races down the rapid
Say,
whimsical
one of those things, along with
the water festival
the endurance, the objects, the strength, etc. Because of those ways that those
Picture yourself next year and all your favorites and allow them to be
Anyone that you're interested in, go to the website, it's already listed, and any purchase or concern.
stairs,
Then tomorrow we get back up,
objects,
but the rest of them listed for sale and available for men, women, as well as children.
experience the magic of the water.
agency of gratitude are wild, underrated by power and that's the best way to move through life, the most effective.
Hold your breath, nature lovers, because again, it's about to take you on a wild
But
ride.
then I think we have to ask
Just beyond the
ourselves,
charming
simply
sounds
this,
of the world of natural wonder.
what goes into creating a sense of agency and gratitude
And
and how
pristine
we feel?
forests,
What are the actual steps? Because if I want more endurance, I want to take on exercise life,
sunlight.
try to run a few times or more. Get stronger, I'm going to lift objects near it. It's a lift. Easier to lift. It's all pretty straightforward in the physical domain, but in the
Majestic view,
mental health,
sun-drenched
psychological domain, it does become a bit more abstract. I think it's funny, no one's ever
playful
objects.
objects,
No one's ever told me
sleep bodies gliding.
you really need an effort is agency and gratitude,
Whether you're an avid hiker,
so I very much appreciate you telling us
someone
this.
who appreciates the beauty of the
I'll
natural
keep
world,
Hit me, what are the action steps that go into creating themselves?
agency, gratitude,
No matter what type of severe asthma you have, Tespire can help you have fewer attacks and relieve your asthma symptoms. Tespire is an add-on treatment for people 12 and over. It is not a rescue medication. Don't take Tespire if you're allergic to it. Allergic reactions may occur and can be serious. Rash or eye allergy can happen. Don't stop your asthma treatments unless your doctor tells you to. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection or your asthma worsens. Sore throat, joint, and back pain may occur. Avoid live activity. No matter who you are, ask your asthma specialist about Tespire today.
Because we don't know what's coming next in life, and we want to be prepared for it, good, bad, and ugly, right? And the
Let's
same thing
rewind
is
the clock
true
once more and
of
trace the
mental
tragic
health.
history
So
back to the
I can
time
feel
when
grateful
the
for
mighty
something. I can feel
Chesapeake and
grateful that I'm
Ohio
still
Railway,
breathing.
also known
I
as
can
the
exercise
CMO,
agency. I can pick
was
up that
more
cup
than
of
just a
tea,
railway.
right?
It was
But
a
that
lifeline,
doesn't
a
mean
symbol of
that
progress
I'm living
and
a
the
life
driving
through the
force
lens
into
of
the world.
agency and gratitude,
Imagine the
which is
ground trembling
consistent
as the
with
iron
every
horses
opinion you
thundered
can look
through the heart of
psychologically
town.
through the lens
Their
of
whistle
literature, through
echoed
the lens
through the
of
valley.
sociology and psychology. Agency and gratitude make
The
happiness,
CNO
right?
wasn't just
There are
happy
ways
with
of
him.
approaching
It was
life.
instrumental.
And just like physical health is
The railroad
undergirded
brought
by
connecting him
by
to the
cardiovascular health, heart health, muscle strength, right?
farmers
There's
transported
an undergirding of agency and gratitude,
and
and empowerment and humility are ways of describing
The
okay,
CNO wasn't just
what
it
arises
was a part of the
right,
community.
from
Its legacy
understanding
became
ourselves,
the
taking
history
care of
and
ourselves, that then gives us the agency of gratitude. So we have
Get
empowerment,
ready
we
to be
have
transported
humility, but
back
where
in
does it
time.
all come from?
Architecture and
Right?
atheist.
So
Because
just
Hinton
like
is
we
a
have to
treasure
understand the
trove of
physical body
architecture
and
for
what
life.
to do to it in order to be
As you
healthy,
stroll down its
right?
streets,
We
it's
also
like
have to
stepping onto a
understand
movie
the
set.
mind,
The
right?
beats
The
building
self
and whispering
that
stories
wants
of
to be
life
healthy.
on air.
And that comes through
Imagine
understanding the
ornate
structure of the self. And we have enough science through the lens of neurobiology and
These
psychiatry
buildings
to understand the structure of the self and then the function of self, right? How we work, right? How we interface with the world. So it's actually not more complicated than physical health. It's just that we don't spell it out that way, right? We come at it through the lens of pathology. What's wrong and who has some diagnosis and we're looking for the problematics instead of saying, what do you look like when what's happening, right? And then going and digging down into the mechanics of it all, right? And if we're not in that state, right, to go and look at that and to make
Every
changes,
town has
just
its
as if you were
thing.
very,
It's
very
no
physical,
exception.
right?
While it may
But
seem
I mean, your
unassuming at
partner
first
didn't go
glance,
up that much.
this small
You're
town
feeling very, very
boasts
fatigued.
surprising
He said, well,
connections.
you're doing a lot of bad things, right? Let's work more on your heart, right? We need to look at the specifics of it because that's how we understand it. And we just don't
The town has a
apply
knack for
the
nurturing
same
remarkable
science, logic,
One
common
such figure
sense
is
to mental health as we do to physical health. That it's kind change gives me the knowledge and ability to do just that.
Your story had also fell down the abilities bonfire breakers. And let's not forget the time. Briefly describe the
Want me like, come fuck off. And fuck up.
So as you explore the way to machines run far on shorter distances, quickly you plan get ready to tantalize your taste buds with Asian's culinary team with a delightful fusion of down-home cooking and Appalachian flavor. Imagine stepping into a room that 4 hours thick with the aroma of fresh baked pies and strong coffee to your local gas here for a savory party meal. One bite of strange dish named muscular and you'll understand why it's a local flavor. Described with it sounds to me like there are a lot of parallels and mergers within that androgynous slash. So what are the core ingredients that satisfy understanding of the local farmers market, the structure of our selling, this town has a bright future. Vinton is embracing it on the day of preserving its recent charts, ensuring its youth generation
Yeah, I just gotta sit right there for you all to see, and I get the rest of this on the site tomorrow. What you say? Can you
Hey Google, turn on Pretty Wife.
Yeah, they list up on their website. I'm just trying to get stuff set up on the back. But the female and the kids products are listed. Just got to get the rest of the males up there. That's the one I went over yesterday. I'll do another run show tomorrow, but I got to get these up there for you all to be able to purchase. These are the male ones. The females are the ones that list already on the site. And the kids products. These are the males that got to get listed. The ones I went over to Sean John, the Curve, Michael Poole, Sex on the Beach, all different kinds. Like I'm gonna get them listed by the end of the week. And that's the Ed Hardy. And I have the mild, medium hot scent. If you want something to last you pretty much all day, as well as the cool water of Barack Obama. And I have the 1 ounce bottles, and those are the ones that are $10. They'll last you about 2 years, depending on how you use it. And I just got them unforgivable with Sean John and Dalton and Michael Ford and the cool water. But I don't know if they can do a playback of the show, because this is when I did a show on every yesterday. You can go watch that playback, you'll see these. You just got to get them listed on the site. You got to set up and get the mic set up while you want to look at it.
And what we're trying to get to is something that's common for all of us. So stamina, for example, is physical and endurance, right? And agency and gratitude in mental, right? So then if you go and you look and you look at the structure of the cell and the function of cells, you find that there's more complexity, but then there's also understanding. There's tremendous complexity in the body, just as there's tremendous complexity in the mind, and we can understand what is the structure of self, what is the function of self, and we can look at that and assess that in the same way with physical parameters, so that we arrive at the place we want to be, be it endurance, or agency, or structure of self. We all have an unconscious mind, and we pay so little attention to this part of us that really is the biological system. So millions of things are going on all the time, in every split second. So for example, I can say these words, right? You can listen to them, you can say things back, and I can listen, right? There's millions of things going on under the surface, much of which comes from either biological presuppositions, or habits over time, right? Thought process, habits, right? So this unconscious mind, this supercomputer, is doing all of these things, at the speed of light, right? Electrical chemical signals and multiple pathways common as complicated super highway systems, and then you consolidate it with others, right? So then what comes up from all of that is the consciousness. So imagine an iceberg, right? It's a really, really big iceberg, and we see conscious mind, which is a much smaller part of our brain function, right? But it's the part that we're aware of, right? It's sitting on top of all the unconscious things, which are extremely important, but then we become aware so that we can engage in the real world. In order for us to have this conversation, the millions of things per second have to be going on underneath the surface so that you and I, as conscious eyes, right, as conscious selves, can ride along on top of it. So that's the part of the iceberg that's above the water. It's the conscious self. Then imagine that the conscious self is girded by a set of long tendrils that come out from under the mind, right? That there are defense mechanisms that are unconscious to us that sort of gird the conscious mind. So do we rationalize automatically? Do we avoid automatically? Do we act out automatically? Are these things in us in ways that we can observe and change, but that are there to try to protect the conscious mind from the slings and arrows of the world around us, right? So if you imagine, there's the big part of the iceberg under the water, the unconscious mind. The conscious mind is riding on top of it, but the conscious mind, that part sitting out of the water, is vulnerable, right? So imagine if there's a defensive structure and that arises from the part of the iceberg that's underwater that is there to defend and protect the conscious mind. So when you say to defend and protect, you say that the conscious mind is vulnerable. What do you mean? Do you mean that it's vulnerable to physical attack, or that it's vulnerable to us realizing that we're just a bunch of neurons that are clicking away underneath? In other words, where does the vulnerability of the conscious mind really reside? Not physically where does it reside, but what am I so worried about in terms of my safety? I mean, right now we're in a room, I feel pretty safe. We're going to attack me verbally or physically. It's possible that could happen, but it seems like a very distant possibility. So when you say that these defenses are there to protect us, there's some sort of awareness. What awareness are we trying to do? So the vulnerability of the conscious mind is to fear, confusion, despair. Right? There's so many things that we can fear. Right? Some people are afraid of snakes or spiders. Some people are afraid of death. Some people are afraid of health issues that could come to them or the people that we love. We can get confused and not know what decisions to make and how to navigate the world and how to be who we are to ourselves and to others. Right? We can feel tremendously vulnerable and despairing and lose others. We start to see things happening in the world around us that we don't like. That we start to feel, what will happen to the planet we live on? Will there be war? Will my children be safe? Right? There's so much that we need to protect ourselves against. So that vulnerable part of us, right, the part of the iceberg sticking out above the water, needs a defensive structure around it to protect it against the vulnerability of fear, confusion, despair. Right? And because the conscious mind is sticking out of the water with the defensive structure around it, right, it is the raw material from which we create our.
Hey Google, turn office lights pink.
Under the water, from the water, the defensive structure. So imagine a nest around all of that. And that's the character structure that we utilize to interface with.
Hey Google,
right? So the character
turn office lights pink.
Right? So if you're driving somewhere in a car, the car is the thing that you're using to go there, right? The character structure is the thing that we're using to interface with the world. So, for example,
Hey Google, turn office lights pink.
How much do I act out if I'm frustrated? Right? How much do I explain something negative?
Hey Google,
how much
turn office lights blue. Hey Google, turn office lights white.
Right? These are all the ways in which we're engaging with the world around us, and this determines the self. Imagine that the self then grows out of this nest from the character structure that we use to interface with the world and the decisions that we make. So if our character structure is the thing through which we engage with the world, then we're enacting what is inside of us and what we determine through our unconscious mind, our conscious mind, our defense mechanism. There's a certain us that becomes academic in a certain way. And if we're more or less trusting, more or less avoidant, we rationalize more or less. These are the factors that determine like, where our lives go, right? Because on top of all of this, imagine that the nest of a character structure around all of this grows from the self, right? The product of
Hey Google,
inside.
turn on office lights.
We don't know about ourselves, the decisions that all of it leads to. So I may choose to be, for example, more trusting, and that may bring an opportunity to me that I wouldn't have otherwise. I may choose to be more trusting, and it may bring risk to me that I wouldn't otherwise have had. So we want to be as healthy as we can, as knowledgeable as ourselves in the world around us, so that it's safe for us to have a healthy character structure through which we can engage in the world around us with a sense of prudence, right? Taking reasonable risks, right? Not too little so that we shut ourselves down and maybe end up despairing. Not so much that scary things can happen to us and we end up fearful, right? But the idea that if we know ourselves well, the character structure is healthy, right? Because it's built upon a structure of self, a function of self that are healthy. And out of it is coming empowerment, and empowerment and humility, right? That then lead us to agency and gratitude, right? The idea here is that this is the character structure that we create that can then interface with the world in a way that's good for us and good for the world around us, that leads us to be able to live in much more harmony inside of ourselves and outside of ourselves.
So if I understand it correctly, defense mechanisms grow up like a unfortunately the iceberg, that unconscious mind, right? They protect our conscious self in ways that gap that we or they can be in other words, defenses can be healthier, they can be perhaps in we can get into what healthy versus further fast looks like. But the way you describe that healthy structure sounds to me like an array of textual dispositions. I don't want to add unnecessarily complex language, but it sounds to me like a bunch of dispositions. Like if I'm walking into the office and I know everybody in places, there's no reason for me to be on guard. Imagine if I just but if I'm walking down a street at night, I'm not familiar with, and I'm trying to get a sense that the water might not be the best, it makes sense for you to be relatively high up. So different dispositions, can't help it. Bulldog, Costello, who had basically three dispositions. He needs to draw sleep, but in all seriousness, the second one was the word. The bulldog is kind of bored with work. Something was given to him that he liked, or something he liked to like. Because that predisposition is one of the I think one of the reasons we like dogs so much, and many of us like dogs so much, is that their decisions are very predictable. Take a little park, he's happy. Freedom, he's happy. Right? There wasn't a lot of, I don't like this particular meal, or I don't like this particular car, or this Jean Frise doesn't smell so good to me. You know, it was so simple. And yeah, people are very complex, right? I go back to look at myself and say, okay, what is my character structure? Character structure is certain things I like, certain things I dislike, certain things really irritate me, certain environments and people I just don't like. Okay, so is the definition of a healthy character structure one in which dispositions match the context that we're affected? I don't know how any of us can be like that, but is that sort of the ideal, much in the same way that we could probably arrive at an ideal, say, like a degree of stamina that one could have. I mean, some people want to run ultra marathons, 100 miles or more. Some people want to run a marathon. Some people want to desire to run a marathon. But I want to be able to run a mile where if without people exhausted. So when we ask ourselves about character structure, we asking ourselves about context-driven dispositions and how we start to evaluate ourselves. Because we're more complicated, I think it's not disposition as much as it's predisposition. Right? So in the example that you gave, right, you have a certain predisposition to be either trustful or fearful, right? And that's healthy, right? So when you come into a setting where there's not a good reason to feel mistrustful, to feel anxious, to feel vulnerable, right? Then you
feel at ease, right? So you walk into the work setting, the people you know, the people you like, everything is okay, right? You have a different predisposition when the context is different, right? So if the context could bring a lack of safety, then you respond accordingly with your right? But when it's possible, certainly those predispositions can be in unhealthy ways, right? So, for example, you might have been traumatized in a certain way, or you might approach the world in a certain way because of prior experience that you may not register it as trauma, but it may be that within you is a predisposition to be mistrusted. So you could walk into a room with people that you know, or people who've never meant you any harm, and still be honest. Right? Now this happens most often after trauma, but there are other ways that people can get to that where the predisposition isn't so complicated. The converse is true too. Right? There are people who get out too much of what's called an omnipotence defense, and then they don't recognize danger when danger is around them. So the idea of the character structure, that nest, right, that's built around the defensive structure and the conscious mind that's sitting on top of the part of the iceberg, the unconscious mind of the water, it's that nest that is interfacing with the world through a whole set of predispositions.
I'd like to take a brief break and acknowledge one of our sponsors, AG1. AG1 is a vitamin mineral probiotic drink that meets all of your foundational nutrition needs. I started taking AG1 way back in 2012, so I'm delighted that they're sponsoring the podcast. The reason I started taking AG1 and the reason I still take AG1 once or generally twice per day is that it's the easiest way for me to ensure that I'm getting all of the vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and fiber that I need in my diet. Now, of course, it's essential to get proper nutrition from whole foods. But most people, including myself, find it hard to get enough servings of fruits and vegetables each day, and especially to get enough prebiotics and probiotics to ensure gut health. As you may know, your gut contains trillions of little microbiota, so-called gut microbiome, which establishes critical connections with other organs of your body, brain health, as well as to support your immune system and other aspects that relate to mental and physical health. One of the most common questions I get is, if you were to take just one supplement, which supplement would that be? And my answer is always AG1, because by taking AG1, I'm able to ensure that I'm getting all of the vitamins, minerals, and probiotics that I need to enhance my mental health, physical health, and performance. So if you'd like to try AG1, go to drinkag1.com/Huberman to claim a special offer. They'll give you 5 free travel packs, and they'll give you a year's supply of vitamin D3 and K2. Again, that's drinkag1.com/Huberman to claim this special offer. As our journey through the angles of us are familiar with assessing and assigning names to the character structures and polyvac. And at least for most of us, find that in no profession. A person is imagine stepping into a realm super nice, powering person's a jerk, etc., etc. It's the serenity of thoughts. I think very few of us are familiar with assessing our own character structure. And I have to presume that some of what happens when you as a psychiatrist or a psychologist is that certain questions are asked and certain discoveries are told that start to reveal to the clinician the character structure. As the sun begins its final descent, they are casting along the defense mechanisms and it's time to bid farewell. Structure of the person's unconscious mind and conscious mind that obviously unaware to them, but while clinicians do it. As a way, much in the same way that if somebody goes into the doctor and says, I don't feel well, start having these questions, or they're breathing, right? They're heart, right? You have the stethoscope and figure these are the probes, whereas the psychiatrist or psychologist uses words and language to probe. So, what are the sorts of aspects of character structure that we can be aware of in ourselves? In other words, should we be asking what type of character do I have, depending on one circumstance or another? Should we ask ourselves what sorts of defenses we have? And maybe this would be a good opportunity to address this issue of what are healthy versus unhealthy defenses. Because it sounds to me, if I understand correctly, that the defense mechanisms are a very strong component in determining what our character structure is. Because the defense mechanisms are unconscious. The character structure that nests around the defenses of the conscious mind, through which we interface with the world, is very, very complicated. So there are as many character structures as there are human beings. Right? So it's very, very complicated. But there are factors that are consistently relevant across people and get identified. So one example would be isolation versus affiliation.
So does a person tend to group with others, right? Or does a person tend to avoid grouping, right? And go about thoughts, tasks, and approaches to life in a more singular way, right? So it's just one of those, right? You can value judgment about it because it can be good or bad on either end of the spectrum, right? So we're just saying, what are the factors? So am I more affiliative or do I tend to isolate and be more singular? That's just one example, right? Another example could be things like, for example, use of humor, right? Does a person use humor and in what way, right? Does a person use humor to deflect discomfort in negative situations? Does a person use humor in order to belittle others or to belittle themselves? Or does a person not use humor, right? So there's these aspects of character structure, and so much research has been done on this over the years to determine what is most salient, right, in this thing that we use in order to interface with the world around us, out of which grows our self.
Makes good sense. And it makes me want to revise a little bit from what I asked about before, which is I'd say that when it comes to an exam of physical health, blood pressure, breathing, etc., blood tests, biomarkers. But what you're describing is a little bit more analogous to a physician addressing a patient who's having some physical discomfort or malaise and saying, "Tell me about your day. You know, what do you do when you get up in the morning?" Because there's it's a very different answer than, you know, I go outside and get somebody drink a glass of water and get up and coffee, right? You know, or if somebody says I have six espresso. If I understand correctly, the character structure is better revealed by exploring the action states that somebody engages in, isolation versus engagement. As opposed to a read of one specific biomarker.
This character structure brought to life.
Those classic kids stretching out over the water, like or movies and books where we learn so much about somebody. Get back and show them that observing the way that they interact with people, moving on are very important, very potent writers. So, for instance, I can think of countless movies where you learn a ton about somebody in the first scene, simply because of the way they react to somebody who cuts them off in traffic. They just explode. Okay, well then we think of that person as reacting from that point on, unless there's a significant amount of material even biased. But it's in the action of it, getting explosive and cursing, etc. As opposed to if they just laugh at themselves or blame someone within their own view that so are those the sorts of things that a generation or something is listening for when somebody says, "I don't feel well, so I'd like to know what's going on lately," and start describing what's going on in their life? And are you listening for those places where the defense mechanisms can start to reveal themselves, the character structure starts to reveal itself, like these action steps that the person seems to be taking? So,
Yeah, maybe one way of looking at character structure is that it's potentialities and predispositions, right? But there's so much that's local that then interfaces with events. Like if a person's stuck in traffic, how does that person respond? If that person weren't stuck in traffic, there would be a response to it, right? So it's the potentialities, the predispositions, and then we live through enacting them as one thing, then life, right? And the attempts to understand, so using the physical health parallel, right? If you came in and you said, I don't feel well, right? So, we might run a lot of tests, right? We might get an MRI or a CAT scan, or even getting the stethoscope and listening to what's inside of you. Those you can say are unconscious. You're not aware of what the imaging may show, or the blood test may show, or how your lungs may sound when someone puts a stethoscope on it, right? So a clinician, if you're trying to understand and help someone, then you do want to look for those things, and you want to look for the things that are underneath the surface, but that can be very, very important. Right? You also want to look at everything that's on the surface, right? So if you're engaging with someone, you're engaging with the self, right? The self that grows out of the character structure next, right? So by engaging with and doing one's best to understand the self, then you learn about what is underneath it. Right? So I may then learn, well, how do you respond in certain situations? Right? Just like I could ask you questions, or well, when do you not feel well? Right? So you're asking a person questions because the idea is to understand elements of the character structure. So how do you respond in certain situations? What's going on inside of you? Right? what do you understand about yourself and what do you not understand about yourself, right? How do you bring yourself to bear in the world around you? So there's a similar process going on, but here we're trying to understand the self, and the understanding of the self can help us understand the components underneath of the self, because that's where we're going to go to make things better, right? The idea is there shouldn't have to be mystery. There's certainly not mystery any more than there is in physical. Rarely someone comes in and they're really not feeling well, and instead of everything that should be done is done, right? Labs, physical examination, history, imaging, right? And you still just don't know, right? I mean, sometimes that can happen, it's very rare. And the same should apply here, that if we're examining a self, and we're looking for the components out of which that self comes, then we should be able to understand well enough to go back to the components of self and to make change so that the self is in a better place, right? And that self can then be empowered, can feel humility, right? Can then come at life through the altruism and gratitude that we seek. Again, you're showing someone
You need to watch
coming
this
at life
ever dream
without
of facing an open
gratitude
credit.
and is not
I'm going to
happy
take you
with their
straight
life,
to the heart of
and
the
can
ocean
be showing
where
something of medicine.
down at Cape Point, Cape Hatteras, the waves
So
crash
if
like
we want
thunder
to
in
get
the air
there, we
smells
want to know
adventure.
how
There's
to
a
get
scale
there,
there.
and there are ways, as there should be, that parallel physical health that aren't mysterious, that we can come at it with understanding and
Not
change.
just any shadow, but a massive, massive shark circling closer and closer. Our man, let's call him Captain Joe, wasn't just going to be there.
Ask about
No,
anxiety.
sir. He grabbed his fishing gear and sailed right
So
into
much
the
of
cold
character
air.
structure is
The battle was on.
determined by
Heart pounding like a drum, Captain Joe
predisposition
dodged and weaved, using his wit against the shark's might. The man versus monster, the dance of destiny at the very edge of his world.
afraid or
On a showdown grew, so Joe first, with one final mighty thrust, he sent that shark tearing back to the deep, proving once again that human spirit can conquer even the darkest depths. Now tell me, are you ready to face your
whether or not we can
You need to hear this
novel
novel
violence and safety.
Imagine this.
That warriors, whether or not that will grow from them.
All right, folks, gather around and witness the epic showdown.
Overtaken by them.
We've got Miss Winters and Triple two tiny phenom titans locked in a legendary duel over the
Anxiety to me is a very
Now, don't let the keep your face in these minds are
system
system
and degrees of excitability, etc. And like sleep the night, wake up feeling reasonably good, but not have a panic attack. Anxiety to me is a blessing that we should know to reach strategic maneuver and acrobatic leap. Our fluffy gladiators, most people, including myself, and I don't think it's all over. Walk around thinking about like character structure. I don't walk around thinking about how I'm going to behave in a bunch of hypothetical environments.
Miss Whiskers,
I go to
sass or something.
most mornings I wake up and I feel pretty good.
Welcome back,
But
now.
it's not as good as I thought it to be. So because everything's wrong, but because I think I'm wired to be a little bit more on the anxious side and to predict what's going to happen next and what needs to be done. And so until I'm actually engaging in certain behaviors, that anxiety comes a little bit high for me. Gears turn a little bit faster perhaps than I would like when I wake up. But once I engage, the speed of that gear turning matches the demands of that gear. Agency. So if you don't mind, could we explore this feeling of anxiety or lack of anxiety that I think people are familiar with within themselves or at different times of day and under different conditions? Because to me, it seems like that's an interesting lens to explore this notion of character structure. Is anxiety a healthy defense or an unhealthy defense, or does it simply depend on the circumstances? Make yourself a worse we all have some degree of anxiety in us. We all have some awareness that as we're navigating the world and like not everything is perfect. Right? This is not nirvana. So there's some anxiety within us. And the thought is that anxiety can keep us vigilant about the things we should be vigilant about, health and safety, right? But that too much anxiety then becomes counterproductive. And we can look at this in a very regimented way, right? So some anxiety makes sense, right? It keeps us being careful. It keeps you being careful as you're pulling out of the driveway, right? So okay, it can be absolutely fine. But let's say you bring something to clinical attention that isn't absolutely fine, right? Let's say I didn't know you and you come in. We had the example that you used before, where you walk into work and there's a group of people that you know well and love, right? Let's say you told me when I walk in there, I feel very anxious, right? I don't feel like things are okay, right? So then we would go through it. We said that's not good, right? Maybe
it's impacting your professional life, things are not going well, if you really want this to change because it's impacting your life in a negative way. And you say, okay, let's look at that from the perspective of structure of self, right? So first, unconscious, right? Is it that just genetically are you built with just higher levels of anxiety? Right, so we could learn. Okay, have you always been anxious like this? Is this always been in your life since you were a little kid, no matter what? So we're looking for biological nature, so to speak, variables. We might also look for things that have happened to you that are lodged in your unconscious mind, right? Is there trauma that you haven't processed, right? That now is underneath the surface but is spinning off more anxiety, right? Let's say you tell me, oh, it wasn't that long ago you started being anxious. Like did something happen? Right? Did you walk into a group of people and or you tripped and you felt bad about something, and then you get more anxious, right? So are there things going on underneath the surface that are impacting you? Let's look into that, right? Because that's the biggest part of the iceberg, right? Then your conscious mind, you can start thinking about, hey, okay, what's going on? What are you actively thinking? Right? So this is where sometimes cognitive behavioral technique can come into mind. Like, are you thinking like, oh no, I'm scared. This is going to go well. Right? If I have thoughts and the thoughts are more anxious, right? What's going on in your conscious mind? Right? I would also be very interested in the defenses. So, for example, do you tend to avoid, right? Has this been getting worse for 3 months, but you just your mind won't acknowledge it, right? And by the time you have to acknowledge it, now it's really bad, right? Or do you not avoid and like this just started happening, you don't nip it in the bud, right? So I would be interested in the defense mechanisms, right? That are building your conscious self, and I would be interested in the character structure. What decisions are you then making? Like, are you going anyway? Right? Are you having trouble? So sometimes you're bored. Are you then making decisions that make you rage? And that causes problems. How does it impact you once you're there? Are you engaging differently with people, doing your work differently? So I want to understand the character structure, and ultimately you understand all of this by probing the self that's riding along on top of it. And then what is the experience of that self? Like, do you see that, okay, this is a problem and I want to address it, but like, I know that I'm good at what I do, and, I mean, this isn't some like awful thing about me, I just have to deal with it, right? Or is your self impacted when you start thinking, maybe I can't do this anymore, I'm not good enough, or, we want to understand what's the experience of the self. And if we do all of that, how is it that we don't get to a place where we can understand that anxiety, right? And we can make things better. So just like in physical health, okay, maybe we can. But that is a dramatic outlier. If we bring ourselves to bear, we would say you should not have to have this in you, right? Because it is something negative. It is making unhappiness for you. It is taking away from empowerment, right? And it's also taking away from humility, right? Because if someone's beating up on themselves, you're beating up on yourself about it, then that's not humility, right? Then that's being so falsely persecutory, right? It's not an honest humility to that. It leads us away from help. So we don't want it to be this way, right? Because that is working against agency and gratitude. So we can understand it and we can go after it and make it better.
Flowers is one of the questions I get. Flowers I get a lot. Is what can be done to increase confidence? And I've thought a lot about that question. What is checking them out? In the context of what we're talking about now is one reasonable definition of confidence, our ability to trust our predispositions and our potentialities enough that were we to encounter scenarios A through Z, we feel pretty good that we can respond to life in a way that wouldn't threaten our conscious mind at a core level. That we wouldn't. I used to use the term and joke a lot in my laboratory. The phrase, dissolve into a puddle of our own tears. Right? It's kind of this hyperbolic explanation of what I think many people feel. Right? They're going to be called upon to answer a question publicly, or give a speech, or they're going to get a critical moment in a relationship or something, and it's just everything is just going to go so badly wrong that it's just going to dissolve them as a person. It's impossible, right? Dissolve in a puddle of our own tears is impossible, but I think that's a fear that a lot of people live with because we can get into this a little bit later, or we will. Sure, this position of protecting this ego. It seems really vibrant. I don't want to dissolve. So is confidence
themselves in a bunch of different contexts. And at the same time, I do have to raise this notion of narcissism. I think this word gets thrown around a lot lately, but it seems to me that any truly psychologically healthy person would also not want to be the idiot that thinks that they're better than they actually are. That's it. What are your thoughts on this?
I agree with the things that you said about confidence, except I would add two factors that I think are really big factors. Right? One being state dependence, and the other being phenomenology. Right? So think about the state dependence first. Right? When we're talking about confidence, it's not uniform, right? Or it's not automatic. So if you were to tell me, oh, I lack confidence, right? Then I want to understand, is that across the board? Is that a way that you feel about yourself that I'm not good enough at anything, right? Or do you lack confidence in a specific area? Right? And this is often the case, right? And it's a huge difference, right? It says that person has the machinery of confidence, so to speak, right? They have the potentialities and the predispositions for confidence, right? When that character structure is self-built autonomous and engaging with the world, right? But they're not able to bring it to bear in a certain special situation, so to speak. So there's some people, for example, the way we most often see this is like the carve out of romance, right? Where because it's so emotionally related, right? And like rejection can feel so bad, right? That we can see people who are very confident in many aspects of life where they are very different about romance. And we'll say it never works out for me. No one will ever like me, right? And we say that's not how that person actually feels, right? About themselves as a whole human being, right? Which is then we are coming at how to make that better in a way that's very robust, right? You might say something like, hey, here's the good news is you have the tools and the machinery that you need, right? You're confident in so many ways, right? In fact, maybe in all ways, except this one. So let's go take a look at like why is that special? Right? And then where are we? We're back to the unconscious mind. Is in the conscious mind now? That person is engaging, right? So we have to understand what the state is, and if the lack of confidence is state dependent. If the person is not confident across the board, then again we go back to the same. You always go back to the same places to ignore, right? But then you might more think, okay, is there an impact of childhood trauma or early life trauma that took away from that person, their ability to gain confidence, right? If you have no confidence across the board, there's a deeper problem, right? Because it would be something anyone can be good at, you feel comfortable in, right? So the state dependence is very important, as is phenomenology. So what is your experience of being confident? If you tell me, well, let's say in a different version of this example, you say, actually, I feel quite confident when I walk into a room. Okay, I want to understand more about that too, right? Because if I ask questions about that, and you say, well, I feel confident because I'm a pretty smart person. I can think on my feet. I can deal well with people. If something doesn't go right, I can recover from it. I feel confident. Say, okay, that sounds pretty good. If you say, I feel confident because I know that I'm better than everyone, right? Now we have a problem, right? Like, that's not going to go well in other aspects of life and engagement. Like it's not going to lead to gratitude. So where's that coming from? And again, maybe there's a deeper problem where there's some narcissism, right, which can be a reaction, right, which is a reaction to vulnerability, right? So then there's a reaction formation, and now the person is actually deeply different, right? But presents as very, very confident and with a sense of superiority, and that's not a recipe for happiness, right? So in approaching it, we do want to understand all the things that you said, what are the factors and the set of predispositions and the set of potentialities, but then what's the real world experience of that across situations, and what is the person's experience of that inside, which is why if we're going to understand and help people, like that's the understand part, right? It's why conveyor belt medicine, it doesn't work, right? In situations where we're dealing with human beings, like mental health, right? We have to understand something about people to understand
whatever they're telling us means. Otherwise, you have no context and you don't know.
Another very common set of questions that I get is very directly related to this is about beliefs and internal narratives. You know, people ask me all the time, how can I change what I believe about myself? And they also ask, how can I change this story? Typically, it's how do I shut down a particular narrative? This seems to fit very well about structure of self, because as you pointed out, self, the structure of self is the unconscious mind, what's going on below the surface of the water, this iceberg model, what's going on in the conscious mind, that the conscious mind is protected by these defense mechanisms that grow up from the unconscious mind, from that character structure, and then this thing that we call the self. But when it comes to beliefs and internal narratives, those seem to be things that people are pretty well aware of. In fact, the very example that people are asking me this all the time, how to change beliefs and internal narratives, is they are aware of them. It also suggests that for many people out there, their beliefs about themselves and their internal narratives are not healthy, or at least they don't really serve or that they are intrusive. I don't know how open people are about their beliefs and internal narratives when they come to you in clinical practice, but you could tell us a little bit about beliefs and internal narratives and whether or not they are important to rewire and reset.
And this part is extremely important, right? So imagine, for example, that I'm saying to myself over and over again that I'm a loser, right? Or I'm not good enough, right? You can imagine trying to go through life and someone else was saying that to you all the time, right? It moves worse when it's inside your own head. Right? So what's going on inside of us, our internal dialogue, our internal narratives are extremely important. And here's where we run into a very big problem, is that we live in an era and in a culture that is very attuned to rapid gratification. Right? And all of the things that we're talking about can change, and it does not change. And it's amazing to me when you'll see it under insurance paradigms often. Right? No matter what's going on with someone, they get 10 sessions of cognitive behavioral treatment. Right? If there's something that we're trying to change beliefs, it's a guarantee of failure, right? Because beliefs don't change that fast, right? So imagine, for example, that you and I chose a word, a random word, and we decided to say it 500 times, right? We each be saying it tonight, right? It's not going to be out of our minds by tonight because we took a random word and said it 500 times, right? So imagine that there's something that's highly emotionally laden, and we've said it thousands and thousands and thousands of times, right? It's not going to go away quickly, right? But it can go away. And during the process of it acting, right, our lives can get better, right? This is the opposite of hopeless, right? It's actually very, very encouraging. But in a world that's rapid gratification, right? Like how do we fix this now that doesn't acknowledge this? We hear all the time that that person has failed therapy, right? Like this is said all the time. That person failed. What's failed therapy mean, right? I mean, I think therapy failed that person, right? But we label like, oh, the person isn't better, right? But there are things going on inside of us that could take months and months or years to make better. Now, again, that's okay if we're aware of what's going on. Just the very fact that we understand and we're making change, right, helps us feel better about ourselves and more confident, right? That we can change all of this, but we have to approach it in the right way. So let's say that I'm telling myself over and over again, you're not going to get there, right? And it's a place I want to go professionally, right? Or no one's ever going to really go, right? If there's I'm looking for romantic partner, right? So imagine these things are going on and they're going on over and over again. And you can imagine now it's intruding into the unconscious mind, it's going on my conscious mind, my defensive structures shifting in negative ways, I'm becoming more avoidant. And nothing about this is good. And I want it to change. And I want it to change to something that says, you can do it, right? Or you're lovable, right? Or you can be a good partner to someone. So I want to change it, right? So imagine now, when I start to make that change, I'm blazing a path, right? And I'm blazing a path where there wasn't a path before, right? And I can blaze a path and I can go do that path. But that path is going to be nothing like maybe the 4-lane highway, right, adjacent to me, where the thing that I've been telling myself for years and years and years, born of trauma, right, is going back and forth, right? It's got a 4-lane highway. I'm cutting a path, right? But over time, you cut that path more and more. You tread that path more and more. You take energy towards that path. It becomes better. Now let's imagine like the path is well lit and it's 12 feet wide, and then you can pave the path so more traffic, so to speak, goes down it. And we're taking energy away from that 4-lane highway, and maybe it starts to be overgrown a little bit, and there are cracks in the road. Like we can change all of that, but we have to understand what's going on and identify it. Like, what is going on inside of me? What do I make of it? How do I understand the process of change? How do I increase my empowerment during the process of change? If we come at it the right way, all of this can be changed. It's not hardwired in us. It's just very, very strongly reinforced. The same way our brains are built this way, so that we don't forget our real names, right? We don't forget where we live. Back when we were hunting and gathering, and we don't forget, where the good fruits are, right? This goes on in human life now. We have to remember things. It's very, very important. If something has high emotional balance and we've thought it a lot, that we don't forget it. But that mechanism gets hijacked by things that are not good for us, and we can take it back, but not if we don't understand.
What are the tools or the questions that you give or ask of patients in order to help them along that pathway? Because I totally agree that changing beliefs and internal narratives is very, very hard. Just one quick example that meshes with the physical health realm. I have a friend and colleague, he's a very accomplished scientist who was very overweight for a long period of time. He finally made some behavioral changes that allowed him to lose, I think it was in upwards of 80 pounds, a significant amount of weight. Felt much better, looked much better. He just delighted in his ability to do that, but then started to reveal to me that he was deathly afraid that he was going to lose control and start eating the way he was before and stop exercising in a way that would return him to his previous weight and feelings of malaise. And I said, well, all the things you're doing are in the direction of health. None of what you're doing speaks to the possibility of this all crumbling. This was the dissolve into a puddle of my own tears kind of narrative that just coming from him. And he just said, I know, but despite doing all the right things, I'm still incredibly afraid that it's going to happen. It was as if the beliefs and the internal narratives hadn't changed, despite the fact that he was engaging in the world differently, positively. I haven't checked in with him recently to find out where he's at with us now, several years later. He has kept off most of the weight. He gained a little bit back, but he's still far healthier than he ever was. So hopefully he's experienced some relief. But what do you tell a patient who is saying, I've got this loop in my head that tells me I'm not good enough, or that even when things are going well, they're going to return to that state that I fear so much once again? This kind of lack of agency, like this lack of agency, lack of empowerment. What sorts of practical tools can one give themselves or that you would provide to us?
No matter what is behind what's going on in that person's mind, it's addressable. But you don't know what it is and how to address it until we ask the question of what's going on inside. So if he's afraid that he's going to gain all that weight, right, and he has a history that if significant negative things happen, he throws self-care to the wind, right? Then we've come at it through that pattern, right? Because he would have he would have a good reason to be worried, right? Because of this pattern of something bad happens and I have to take care of myself for 6 months. Maybe someone, I'm just making something, maybe someone in his life is ill and he's fearing a death. If it's just something that would say, that's a very legitimate fear to have, like, let's talk about that. Like, let's look at where that comes from, right? What got that person into that pattern in the first place, right? By understanding the pattern and by working together, right, can we stave that off, right? But it could be different. The person might say, "Oh, I'm having a lot of food cravings," right? And we're like, "Okay, well, what does that mean? Where's that coming from?" Well, maybe he's depressed, and he's getting depressed, and when he's depressed, he can't stop eating more, right? So it might just be plain old fear that this is so good, right? That I'm worried it will go away, right? Then we might want to reinforce, like, okay, like you're a person who's able to use circumspection and perseverance and preserve goodness, right? So like you do that really well. So let's make sure we're doing that here, right? So a lot of times a person is worried, but that worry is coming through the lens of health, like they're healthy, right? So then you look at, okay, can we soothe that worry? Where's that coming from, right? We can come at it and reinforce the positive. But if there is something negative, there's a trauma-driven cycle, there's depression, there's cravings, we can understand that too. So I've come back to this idea that there's answers to just about everything, and in a very regimented scientific way, it's not that hard to come to them, right? Just like in physical medicine, like we have
the fuck is this shit?